I'm just wondering what you're doing.
I've just explained to one of the civic enforcement officers I'm filming.
What are you filming?
Anything I can see from public.
Right, and is there a reason behind that?
It's for a story.
Right, okay. Can I take your details, please?
What would you like my details for?
Because obviously in the interests of public safety and everything like that, when somebody is out filming and having a look around public buildings,
right,
we have a duty of care to check you out.
What, a duty of care to whom?
To the general public.
I'm part of the general public?
Yes.
I don't have to give you my details then?
Right, I can just get other people.
Well, other people, I'm still not obliged to give you my details.
I'm asking because at the moment, I don't know whether you are committing any criminal offences in this area.
I'm certainly not.
This gentleman is out filming and is pointing up, looking at all the cameras, and obviously in light of...
Identify the cameras up there?
In light of...
I'm not filming that. I'm filming up there. I was filming up there when this lady approached.
She opens with interrogation mode straight away, and even after Forced Awakenings explains exactly why he's recording, she treats his reason as something that needs to meet her personal approval. It doesn't. Lawful activity doesn't require a justification that satisfies an officer's curiosity. Then she demands his details under the banner of public safety and a supposed duty of care. That's a stretch. Duty of care doesn't create a roaming power to collect names from anyone holding a camera. It applies when there's an identifiable risk, not when there's uncertainty. The most telling moment is when she admits she doesn't even know if he's committing any offense. If you don't know of a crime, you don't have grounds to demand details on the off chance one might exist.
What's the issue?
There isn't an issue.
I'm just wondering why he's filming public buildings.
Yeah, why?
I'm perfectly entitled to film anything I can. Hang on, wait a minute. I'm perfectly entitled to film anything I can see from a public place, including council buildings that are owned by the public.
Okay, we have concerns about public safety.
And your concerns are?
We don't know who you are.
That's
and what
not a concern.
Links it is.
It isn't.
In the day and age that we are in.
Are you accusing me of being a terrorist?
I'm not accusing anybody of anything. But
do you have reasonable suspicion to believe that I'm up to anything other than?
I don't know what you're up to.
Go on to Google filming in public. And even legislation.
Tell me what I need to do.
Right. Well, don't tell me that I need to give my details when I know that I don't.
I'd like you to move away from this area, please. Otherwise,
you need a section 60. You need to remove somebody from an area without probable cause. You need a section 60.
Well, I'm concerned for public safety and what you are doing in this area.
Well, I've told you what I'm doing in this area.
Well, you need to move away from here now.
When the second officer arrives, you can see the mindset harden rather than reset. Between them, filming a council building is treated as something inherently out of place. Not because of anything specific he's done, but because it doesn't fit what they expect to see. That internal assumption becomes the driver of the interaction. Her main concern circles back to identity. I don't know who you are. As if not recognizing someone automatically justifies collecting their details. It doesn't. Then she reaches for the familiar day and age reasoning implying terrorism without linking him to anything tangible. Elevated threat levels don't convert ordinary conduct into grounds.
I'll move to the other side of the road, if that's all right.
You've obviously got nothing else better to do with your time, have you?
Well, that's not your concern. What I do with my time is nobody's concern but mine.
Fair enough.
Okay. Can I ask you to identify yourself? You haven't got any numbers on your pellets?
1,000.
1,000. And name?
Sarah Bainbridge.
And yours?
2629. You're also on body cam.
Yeah, that's fine. And you're based here?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent.
Well, I'm based out of Darlington.
Right, okay, excellent. Hello there.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Hello.
This gentleman is filming. He's now refusing to give any details, and
I'm not obliged to.
I can't understand why he's out filming buildings, council buildings, refusing to give any details in light of the incidents that we're having around the area at the moment.
And those incidents, whatever they may be, no concern of mine, nothing to do with me.
But I don't know who you are, and I can't check you out.
Well, you don't need to.
Yes, I do, because I have a duty of care to the public.
I'll tell you what it is, mate. It's anti-terrorism.
There's no terrorist threat at the moment.
But I don't know who you are.
What do you mean there's no terrorist threat? At the moment, we're still on high.
When he says, haven't you got anything better to do, that's not about public safety anymore, that's a personal jab. It shows this has drifted from assessment into attitude. Then she leans on incidents in the area, as if crime somewhere nearby automatically transfers suspicion onto whoever happens to be holding a camera. That isn't how it works. You don't become a suspect by postcode. And when the second officer finally labels it anti-terrorism, that's the escalation. Play a vague discomfort and wrap it in. the heaviest category available.
Terrorist threat at the moment, and nor has there been over the past 5 years, towards any public buildings.
That's a lie, because there was one yesterday actually.
Was there? Well, I wasn't aware of that.
Well,
where was
there
that?
you go.
So where was
we
that?
don't know.
So here.
Yes, it was actually.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
one
to the council officers as well.
Right. That's nothing to do with me.
That's
no
why
concern of
you've
mine.
been
How do we know
Well,
that?
Well,
It's just
were
why
they
I'm
were
asking
they
for your
were they
details.
stood outside with a mobile phone?
Look, we're not getting into this.
Well-
I am now asking you to leave the area because I feel that you,
On what grounds?
because you are alarming the public.
No. Which section of the law? You give me the section of the law, I'll quite happily move.
You just need.
Beg your pardon? I'm just a...
I never said one word.
You liar.
We're filming you as well.
That's fine. It's public.
Just stand
It's
here
perfectly
until you
okay.
move out of the
It's
way.
okay, perfectly okay to film in public, which is what I was explaining to your colleague.
You gave me your details, and I could
Right. So
be happy that there is
my
nothing
details.
untoward.
My details won't give you any other information.
I would like to check you out so that I am happy that I can leave you unattended on the side of
can.
the road.
When Forced Awakenings ask whether the person involved in that incident was even filming, they sidestep it instantly. No answer, no explanation. Just a quick pivot away from a question that undercuts their reasoning. Instead, she shifts to saying he's alarming the public and that she wants his details so she can feel happy leaving him there. That's not an objective standard. That's personal comfort creeping into the decision M. Policing isn't about managing an officer's feelings.
Actual reason, other than curiosity as to why I'm filming, to be stood here
I want
asking.
to know who you are
Well,
to make sure.
I don't have to identify myself, and you're well aware of that. I know the law just
Right,
as much
very
as you.
shortly, I will to prevent a breach of the peace.
You can't prevent a breach of the
I
police
can prevent
if
a breach
none
of
was
the
going to take place. I'm not breaching anybody's peace.
I have colleagues and members of the council staff who are very concerned about why you were out here filming in light of the incidents
I'm
yesterday.
filming a story. I'm not filming in light of those incidents.
Well,
Those incidents
until
weren't
I
even
can-
known to me until
I
you made
can
them aware.
Prove or negate either way. All I want is your details to make sure that no members of the public are a threat
They're
by
not.
you. Well,
My details wouldn't give you any more information about that.
people tell me every day
Well,
how good they are.
I'm not saying I'm not saying.
threat.
Hang on, I'm not saying I'm good. What I'm saying, I'm not denying either way.
Everybody says all the time with interactions with the police, it wasn't me.
That's because
I'm no threat.
That's because your interaction, instead of accepting what I'm doing is perfectly legal.
She then jumps to preventing a breach of the peace. Even though there's no sign of violence, no confrontation, no disorder brewing. That power isn't a comfort blanket you throw over a situation because people feel uneasy. It's there for imminent conflict, not speculative tension. Saying colleagues and council staff are concerned doesn't raise the threshold either. Concern isn't evidence. They're public servants, not private landowners defending personal space. Their unease doesn't convert lawful filming into a trigger for intervention. Then she adds that she can't take his word because lots of people claim innocence. That's a broad brush to justify ignoring what's actually in front of her. You don't discard someone's explanation by default and replace it with assumption.
Is to cite laws that don't exist. Say that
cited a law that doesn't
you
exist.
told me that you were going to move me. You can't move me without that section, without the powers under a section.
I have reasonable grounds to believe you.
If you're asking me to move,
Yes.
right, and you can state me a section of the law, I'll move quite happily. That's a perfectly reasonable request.
It's fine because we've got supervision
do you
coming in.
understand what the current levels of threat at the moment?
Right, if there has
You know
been,
what evident means, I'm sure you do. You seem like an intelligent
if there
person.
has been a threat yesterday of some sort, then yes, I can understand.
Right. So
But
now you understand.
but I wasn't aware of that until you told me.
Right.
And
So now that's why we need your details.
well, you don't need my details.
Yes, we do.
So do you have the details whoever it was who you spoke to yesterday?
You know what's going to happen, right? I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. You're going to end up getting arrested.
For what?
Right? Listen, that.
No, for
we're
what?
speaking to a supervision at the moment, okay? Based on the current threat levels and the incident that happened
now we'll
yesterday,
get an
that
order out.
ended up getting seized, okay, under the terrorism laws.
She keeps insisting she has reasonable grounds. Yet, when he offers the simplest test, name the section, and he'll comply, there's nothing. No statute, no specific power, just silence. That pause says more than any argument. If the authority was solid, it would be easy to articulate. Instead, it hangs there unspoken. Then the tone shifts again as the other officer loses patience and jumps straight to arrest threats and talk of seizing his camera under terrorism legislation. That escalation isn't built on new facts. It's built on frustration. You don't fill a legal gap by raising your voice or invoking the heaviest powers available.
Your body cameras will also be made public knowledge to me, and I'll use them.
That's fine. I want to know.
I just can't see why you're being so obstructive.
I'm not being obstructive at all.
Yeah,
I'm not obliged. No, there's no obstruction because I'm not obliged by law to give you, unless you reasonably assume that I don't need to, because it wouldn't go to court. You'd be looking at a lawsuit.
You're being obstructive. I don't care.
I'm not being obstructive at all. Refusing to give my details when being asked is not an obstruction.
You've asked for our details, okay?
Because I'm, as a member of the public, and you've been civil servant, you are legally obliged to give me those details upon request.
You've obviously got nothing else better to do.
Well, but that's my concern, not yours.
Yeah.
If I was stood on the other side of the road without a camera, you wouldn't have approached me. It's purely because I'm filming. Filming is a perfectly legal activity.
Because we don't know why you are filming.
But I've told you why I'm filming, for a story.
A story for what?
For YouTube, for my blog.
Right, so who are you?
I don't have to identify myself. And you're well aware of the law regarding identification, stop and search powers and procedures.
Telling him fight it in court isn't confidence. It's bluster. It's the kind of line you use when you can't properly justify the demand in the moment. Forced Awakenings is right to point out it wouldn't even reach that stage if the stop itself is flawed. Civil action exists for that reason. The officer brushing it off with "I don't care" is the giveaway. That's ego replacing judgment. Policing decisions aren't supposed to be made on who's willing to gamble. Then they try flipping it because he asked for their details he should hand over his. That's not how it works. Officers are required under their own standards to identify themselves when asked. Members of the public aren't under a blanket obligation to reciprocate.
At the moment, my colleagues are on to senior officers so that we can have a power of stop and search to get your details.
Good luck with that. You're detaining me.
I'm not detaining you.
So you just said to me I'm not going anywhere at the minute.
Listen, where do you intend to go next? Because I'm just going to follow you, right?
That's no concern of yours.
Right, well listen, I'm just going to follow you because we need to speak to you about what you're doing.
You can follow me wherever you like,
fine,
but don't tell me that I'm not going anywhere, because that's a threat of detainment unlawfully.
Right, listen.
Okay.
Would you like to come back round to the police station
I don't
where
need
we
to.
speak to you?
No, I don't need to.
You don't need
No.
to. Right, where are you going now?
I'm not telling you.
I'm going to follow you then, okay?
You follow me.
Okay.
This is harassment. Yeah, so anyway, I went in to see him, and basically fobbed me off back to his offices most of the way. He did say that they would be doing some training over sort of data protection and dealing with photographers. Whether they did or not, I don't know. I didn't take it any further. I wasn't after them for money. It's not why I do this. It's just to show them as the bullies that they were, and hopefully they'll learn the lesson.
What stands out most isn't just the initial stop. It's the persistence. When clear authority isn't immediately available, she doesn't pause and reassess. She starts searching for a power to fit the outcome she already wants. Colleagues are consulted. Senior officers are contacted, all in an effort to retrofit justification onto a demand for details. That's not how Decision M is supposed to work. You identify grounds first, then act. You don't decide on the action and then shop around internally for something that might cover it. Then there's the following. Once Forced Awakenings disengages and walks away, an officer tails him and asks where he's going, as though movement itself requires oversight. "We might need to speak to you" isn't a legal position. It's a placeholder. If there's a legitimate need, it should already be articulated. Shadowing someone after failing to establish grounds doesn't strengthen the case. The follow-up is where the wider significance sits. A complaint is made and the outcome reportedly involves training on data protection. That detail matters. It suggests the concern wasn't imaginary. Something about the handling of personal information crossed a line internally. No dramatic ending, no headline arrest, just a quiet correction behind the scenes. If you found value in this breakdown, make sure you like the video, share it, and subscribe to support the channel and help keep this kind of accountability in the spotlight. I'm the Audit Assessor. This was episode 16. See you guys later.